So I just want to say congratulations on getting access to this video course. This is video number 1, and we're going to get started here, and I'm going to talk about the video course itself and what to expect and what we're going to talk about. And we're going to talk about the tools that you're going to need. Fortunately, we are going to be using free tools. You don't need to pay for any tools at all. So that's a big plus. So here's a quick video's overview of what's inside this particular video so you know exactly what to expect. This is of course video number 1. Video number 2 is talking about getting your resale rights product ready. So we're going to talk about the tools in this particular video, but in the next video, we're going to talk about actually getting things ready. So we're going to make sure that you have access to the downloadable product, the resale rights or the private label rights product. And you want to kind of sort it, you want to organize it so that you can be ready for video number 3. Now, we're going to talk about HTML basics, and we're going to be utilizing a specific tool that allows you to edit HTML. So you do not need to learn HTML. You're going to kind of fast track the system. And once you've learned how to use a tool, in video number 4, we're going to talk about customizing the sales page and the thank you pages. So I want you to kind of get an idea about how to go about doing that, because once you know that, it's going to be easier on video number 2 as we're going to connect the downloadable page, which is a thank you page, to the downloadable files. In video number 6, we're going to talk about how to automate your sales with PayPal buttons. So obviously you're going to need to have a PayPal account. We're going to show you how to connect the sales page, put a button on that, and when somebody pays, they are immediately sent to your thank you page. Now, of course, you generate this type of stuff, and then you add it to your sales page, and then in video number 7, we upload the files to your website using FTP or cPanel, depending on your web hosting company. And then of course we test it to make sure that it actually works. Now here are the things that you need. You need of course to have the product download. So you're going to need to have access to the video course, the ebook, or the product itself. You're going to need to access the sales page, the thank you page. If you don't have a thank you page, you can create a thank you page with the HTML editor that we're using, and I can show you how to do that. But most products should have a sales page and a thank you page. And then of course, they should have the graphics that come with the sales page and the Photoshop files. Now, if you want to edit the graphics and the Photoshop files, you can with Adobe Photoshop. And I'll show you where to go to get that tool. Now, of course, you will need to have a HTML editor, which is going to edit the pages that you're given. Now, we are using a product called Composer, which is a WYSIWYG tool, which is basically a simplified saying what you see is what you get. So if you know how to use Microsoft Word, then utilizing this tool should be easy. It should not be hard. Next, you're going to need to have FTP access, which is something that your web hosting company will give you. So assuming you have set up your domain and your web hosting, they should give you your username and password and the FTP information. So that should be given to you, and you should have that in hand. Now, in order to connect your web hosting system, you can either do it via cPanel, which is what most web hosting company uses. And if that's the case, we will show you how to do that. And if that's not the case, and they're using something like a proprietary system, we will want to use FileZilla, and I'll show you how to use that in that particular video as well. And then of course, you're gonna definitely need to have a PayPal account. Okay, so let's talk about where to get these tools. The first tool is called Composer, and this tool will allow you to edit and customize your sales page and your thank you page. And it'll also allow you to add your PayPal buttons to your pages. Now, like I said, you don't need to know anything about HTML code. I'm going to show you some hacks that will allow you to fast track and will prevent you from really having to learn HTML code. So what you want to do is you want to head on over to composer.net. That's KOMPOZER.net. Now you get to the site, you want to click on the downloads button at the top, because this will allow you to access all sorts of different downloadables of the software for different operating systems. So if you're using Windows, you have it here under English, and then Mac OS, you have it here, or even Linux. Now, you also have different languages here that are available to you if you speak in a different language. But if you do English, you go under here, you click on download, and of course you install the program. The next software is called FileZilla, and this is great. I love using this software. It's free and it's really easy to use. So if you don't have something like cPanel, then you can use FileZilla. And actually, in my opinion, FileZilla is faster to use once you have figured out how to use it. And I'll show you how to use it in the future videos. And of course, last but not least, you will need to have a PayPal account, preferably a PayPal business account, especially if you're selling. You don't want to have a personal account, because a business account allows you to create buttons and allows you to access all sorts of other features that will help your business. So with that said, let's move on to video number 2. Hello and welcome back. In this particular video, we're going to get things ready by getting your resale rights or your private label rights product organized so that we can begin the customization process in the future videos. So let's get started. Okay, so my goal in this video course is to make it as simplified as possible, because this process need not be complex, all right? So the first thing I like to do before I think about customizing HTML pages or anything like that of that manner, I like to organize my things, organize my downloadable files and everything like that. Now, keep in mind that if you buy a good video course, a high quality video course or an ebook with private label rights from a reputable vendor, typically they will have everything organized for you. So as you can see here, this is organized. This is a video course on HTML, and actually kind of an oxymoron and ironic that we are going to teach HTML in the video after this. But this video course basically teaches how to use Composer, which is what we're going to use. Now, as you can see here, there are Flash videos. So these videos basically allow you to upload straight to your website. And then of course, if you send people straight to this HTML page here, they are automatically going to see the video. So if I double click this, you can see it. So you can see this is the browser and this is the video, and they can go ahead and click it. So automatically they have access to a video player. Now these are the 640 by 360 Flash videos. And like I said, you can upload these straight away, or you can zip them up and give them to your customers. And then of course you have the 1280 by 720 videos. And these videos can be uploaded to places like Vimeo or hosted. And of course, you want to make sure that you read the license to know that what you can and cannot do. Different vendors are different. Some do not allow you to pass on the 1280 by 720 videos, and some do, and pretty much read the license. So assuming that you know the license, organize it based on that. Now, I like to just organize it based on the different types of videos. And as far as uploading the videos, you definitely want to make sure, okay, this is good. I'm going to zip these up, and you want to zip them into a zip file, and you want to categorize them basically. So as you can see here, we've got these videos. We have 1280 by 720. We have MP3 audio files. And then of course we have sales letter and graphics. So this is what we're going to need. We are really going to need to have access to the sales page, which most of the time is the index.html file. If it is not, you will need to make that index.html file. And I'll show you more about this in just a second. And then of course we have the thank you page. So let's just take a look at these pages real quick. So this is the index.html file. Now, when you upload your files to the internet and to your website, your web hosting account is going to read the index.html file immediately. So if you send somebody to a certain folder and there's an index.html file inside of it, the browser will automatically read the index.html file first. So that is why in this case, that is our sales page. All right. So thank you page, you can rename this however you wish. Something so somebody can't really guess what it might be. So if you do thanks.html or thankyou.html, generally speaking, it is easy to guess, and people can literally bypass and download your product for free. So you don't want that. You want to rename that. You can right click on rename, and just rename it to whatever you want. So we have the HTML here. So I'm going to move this out over here because we're going to need this later. So I'm going to call this website files. And then of course we have the transcripts and the video sales demo. Now, in this case, you have to really decide on what you want to give away. All right. So if you are just wanting to give away this folder here, you will want to zip this folder, right? So in this case, out of all these things, for somebody just to learn the video course itself, they really only need the videos, right? They could have the transcripts if they wanted to, but you want to make sure you read the license. Some allow you to give away the transcript, some don't. And then some you might want to give the MP3. So I think in this case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give the 640 by 360 videos. They tend to be smaller. They use less space. And then of course, in this case, we have the 1280 by 720, but of course you can see that it is a good amount of space. So in this case, I'm going to just give away this folder, and that's it. All right, so I'm going to zip the files, and to do that, super easy. If you're using Windows, all you have to do is right click and click send to compressed zip folder. And I'm going to do the exact same thing with the MP3 folder. So right click, send to compressed zipped folder. Now, of course, this is going to take a few seconds or a few minutes. It's compressing it. So it's squeezing it all the way down into a zip file. So basically at this point, just figure out what files do you want to give away. Once you figure that out and we're done zipping the files, I'm going to move these files into the website files folder like this. All right, so at this point in time, we're done. So just a quick recap. Number one, download the product. Number two, find and figure out what you want to give away as far as files go. Number three, zip the files. And number four, move the files into where your HTML files are. If you do that, then setting up the actual download page is going to be super easy. Now, as far as the other files go, sometimes within the sales letter and graphics, you will be given the Photoshop files. So, of course, you can edit these if you wish. You can edit the headers, you can edit the templates. And if you don't really want to do this, of course, you can head on over to a website called Fiverr.com. That's Fiverr.com, as you can see here. And you can find somebody to edit the Photoshop files for you, and you can literally outsource that process. All right, so once you're done, we can move on to the next video. Hello and welcome to video number 3. This is HTML editing basics. And now that we have organized everything in the previous video, now I want to show you the software tool that you're going to use, which we talked about in video 1 very, very briefly, and show you around and show you how easy it is so that you can begin to understand how you can edit your sales page and your thank you page and any other future HTML pages that you run into. All right, so first things first, all you need to do is go to a website called composer.net. That is KOMPOZER.net. And then of course go to downloads. And then of course you can pick and choose the operating system that you are using, whether it is Windows, Mac, or Linux. And then of course under Windows, if you go under here, you will find two columns. The first column is the installer, which basically will automatically install it onto your computer. So that's highly recommended, or you can just download the zip archive. Now, when you download the zip archive and you unzip it, you can actually run the program immediately in that zip file. All right, so that's really the main difference. Now, of course, let's go ahead and open up Composer here. So go ahead, find it, and open it up. Now, as you can see here, very, very simplistic, really, really similar to Microsoft Word. So if you know how to use Microsoft Word, this is just as simple. All right, without all these other features, because actually Microsoft Word is actually a lot more complicated than this tool. So that's why I want to show you editing HTML does not require you to really know how to program or code. Now, let me walk you through step by step so you know exactly how to use this tool. So up at the top, you can save, you can publish, but the things that you're going to mainly use is this box here. So this white box allows you to add text like you would normally do in Microsoft Word. So let's say, for example, that we'll just say, thank you for purchasing this product, and then of course download link 1 or something, and download link 2. Now if we go across here, you can create links, you can add images, you can create tables, you can create forms. Now you're rarely ever going to do this. You're pretty much going to do links, images, and tables. That's generally speaking what you will be using. And most of the time, if you're editing an existing HTML page, you don't really have to deal with tables. It's mainly links and images. And then of course, font sizes, different types of fonts. So the font type, we have the color for the text. And then of course you have a highlighter. So you could make a highlight a yellow. You can decrease the font size, increase the font size, bold, italicize, and underline. So if we highlight this one here, I can make it bigger, as you can see here, and I can even make these bigger as well. And I can change the font. Let's say this is not Arial, so I'm going to make it Arial. And then of course I can bold it, I can italicize it, and I can underline it. And of course you can change the font. Just highlight it, choose the font. We'll do something like a dark red. And there you go. So very, very similar to Microsoft Word. And then of course you can create links. So you can highlight these and then make a link. So then you enter the link location. Now I'm going to show you how to create the download page. Super easy. But if you just simply link it to, you can link it to a site like google.com, or you can link it to yourdomain.com / maybe filename.zip. And then of course you just press OK. Now those are direct links. Now what about these options down here? Well, if you were to link it to say something, for example, www.google.com, right? So you're linking it to a web address. If that's the case and you want people to stay on your page, you can click link is to be opened in a brand new window. I like to use this all the time because a lot of times if somebody clicks on that page, I want them to stay on that page, but then when they click the link, they get sent to a different window. Of course, you can set the options, the same window, a parent frame set, and a current frame. Now, I very, very rarely have used these other options. Really, 99% of the time, I use this, and that's it. press OK, and you're good to go. So that's how to use links. Now, as far as images goes, you can just click on image, but before you do that, you need to pick and choose where you want the image to be, right? So if I click here, click on image, and then of course you can browse and find the image. So let's just go over here to find some images. And we will use this one. Actually, we'll use this. Now, in order for this to work, you can see online that this works. Image location points to my computer. Now, this is a common problem that a lot of people encounter, is that when they upload this to their site, they wonder why in the world isn't this working? And the reason why is it's pointing to your computer. You want it to point not to your computer, but to your web hosting account, right? So in order for that to work, we would just enter the file name itself. So that's what we would do here. Now, for the sake of just showing you how all that works, I'm gonna go find a picture. So we're gonna find a picture. Let's say, we'll just choose this one here, and maybe this one here. I'm gonna go to my website files, and you can enter them into your images folder, or you can enter them here. Let's just put it in the images folder here, and we'll call this business man and red button. And we'll leave it in there. So let's say that we'll just put this file in this folder. So let's just click save. And I'm going to call it test. Okay. And we're going to save the test.html file into this folder. Now remember, the images are in this folder, so I could even leave it in there, or you can even put the images outside in the same level as the test.html. In fact, if you do that, I can guarantee you it's going to be a lot easier, and I'll show you how and why that is easier. So if I go over here and I click on image and I find that location, let's just click on the red button one. You can see now that the image location is pointing to redbutton.jpg, which is the image file. Now, if we do that, and then of course the alternate text is, you want to enter a text that describes this image to make it SEO friendly. So we say something like red button, press OK, and there we go. So now when you upload the files straight to your web hosting account, you're actually going to see the image. It is now linking to the image. Now, if you want to decrease the size of it, of course, if I double click the image and I click on dimensions and custom size, you always want to click constrain here. And then what that means is when we change the width, the height will automatically change. So if we change it down to like 350, we can size it down. Now, there are other different options as well. So if there's spacing, like align text to the bottom of the image, to the top, to the center, or wrap around it. So what that means is if you wrap around the right and we just create text here, we could put the image in the text, and the text will actually wrap around the image. So like I said, the whole goal of this particular video is just play around, have fun, and don't worry about making mistakes. That's the whole goal. All right. So the next thing, you can also highlight this. You can left line, center line, or right line, or even justify. You can also create bullet points. So for example, if we had, say we'll go down here, you can highlight these and you can create them into number bullet points, as you can see down here. And we'll make it bigger. Now, if you don't want it numbered and you just want bullets, you can click the bulleted list and have bullets. You can also indent it or push it back to the left side. So really what it comes down to, that's really what you're going to use. Most of the time, you're just going to change the style, the look and design of the text. And second of all, generally speaking, you will create links and of course add images. And that's about it. I'd say 99% of the time, that's what I do. Very rarely do I ever use any of these other options here. So now that you understand how to use it, you can play with it. Now we're going to kind of transfer everything that we have been taught here over to the customization of the sales page and the thank you page in the next video. So now that you know the basics of HTML, in video number 4, we are going to talk about customizing your sales page and your thank you page. Okay, so now all we have to do is simply open up the sales page and the thank you page. Now, if you don't have a thank you page, generally speaking, it is super easy to do. And I will actually show you how to do all of that in the next video. So this video is just taking what we've learned in the previous video, which was HTML basics, and utilizing Composer to do just that. Now, all we need to do is simply open the files up. So we have the index.html file, which generally speaking is the sales page. And then of course you have the thank you page. Now I'm going to clean this up and delete the files that we don't need, that we used in the previous video. Now to open them up, all you have to do is select the file, right click, open with Composer. Now you're going to notice that the Composer that you are using is actually Composer. Strangely as it is, I don't know why they do that, but for whatever reason, the file that you download is Composer, like an actual composer, versus the actual website. So just keep that in mind. But when we open it up, this is what we're going to see. We can see that there is the sales page inside of Composer. So as you can see here, we've got a background image, we have a header, we have some text, we have the headline, the subheadline, we have the sales page introduction, we have the image. And if you click with your left click of your mouse so that you can kind of just see what they are. So we got images, we have text, images, we have text. Keep going down. We have a little call to action. We have some image here, call to action, order button, and final sign off. Now, in this case, you could use this if you wanted to, and you can link this to your PayPal link, or you can simply add the PayPal button here, which is what I would normally do in this case, just because PayPal is well recognized. So most of the time, if someone sees a PayPal button, they are okay and they will buy through it. But that's up to you. I mean, that really depends on your market. So if you want to use these types of buttons that are made for you, you can. Some people do, some people don't. But some things are here, some things are not here for your sake and for your use. So some people like to use certain things, some people don't. So just because everything is here doesn't mean that you have to use everything. In fact, you can hire an outsourcer to redesign the graphics if you choose to do so. In fact, I highly recommend that you do that because it doesn't look like everybody else. So that's one little tiny step that you can do to really stand out so that you're not competing with everybody else. Now, the nice thing about private label rights is it creates that foundation. So you have access to a video course that you don't really have to change. You just change the graphics and then make it look unique. Now, as you can see here, we've opened this up and we can customize it with your name. So you can put your name here. We'll just say John Doe or something. And you can change anything you see. So anything you can click, you can change. So any text, just like Microsoft Word. So we can click this even, and we can we can link this as if we want to. We can resize it if you want to. But although I don't recommend that you do that, otherwise it'll distort everything. But you can also go down here. You can change the size of the image. So we can go to dimensions. We can make it smaller. Like so. And sometimes you'll get this error that says the image is only relevant to the content of the document. What that means is that you just need to enter the alternate text, which describes what this particular image is all about. And this is just a great way to make your images more search engine friendly, so that if somebody gets onto your page and they're blind or disabled or anything like that, their system and their program usually will tell them what is actually on the page, so they know. All right, so it's just a great way to make it friendly to everybody else, but at the same time, Google likes that kind of stuff. They like it when you are trying to be friendly with all different types of people, and that will actually get you higher rankings. That's not the only thing that will get you higher rankings, but that will definitely help you overall. All right, so that's really how to do it. If you click on this link here and you get a link, you can actually link it. So if you want any image to go to a web page like google.com or any web page that you want, you simply click it, click on link, and enter the link here. That's it. So that's how to kind of navigate the sales page. Now, if you go down here and you click on the source tab, this will allow you to see the source code. Now, I'd say 99% of you who are coming in don't even know what this means, and that's fine. You don't. That's the whole beauty of this strategy, is you don't need to know HTML. All right, so I'm going to click a save on that because I customized it with my name. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to go to our download page. Now, remember what we figured out earlier is we were going to give these two files. So I'm going to open up the thank you page. And we see that there are 9 different videos here. And it doesn't necessarily mean that we need to have 9 links, because in this case, we actually have one zip file containing all 9 links, right? So in this case, all we need to do is simply have these here and just have 2 download links. Now, I'm not going to show you this right now. I'm actually going to show you this more in the video after this, when we talk about the download page and how to make it so that we connect everything correctly, so that when we upload the files to your website, everything is going to actually work. So there's a process here. All right. So we can edit the text here. Thank you for your order. You can put your name here. You can customize it. It says to view the video, simply click each title below. In this case, we're just going to say to view the video, simply click each. Simply download the files and watch. And that's it. So now that you kind of have a kind of familiarization of how the tool works, how to edit the page, now we can actually customize the thank you page and make sure that these 2 zip files are connected so everything works when you upload it to your website. Great. So now that you understand how to customize your sales page and your thank you page, in video number 5, we're going to talk about how to connect your download page, basically your thank you page, to your downloadable files, so that when you upload it to your website, everything works and everything is going to be easy for the customer to download the files. Okay, so the vendor should provide you with number 1, a sales page, and number 2, a thank you page. If they do not provide you with a thank you page, then that is very, very strange. So I'm going to show you how to create a thank you page if that is the case. Now, if you do have a thank you page, just bear with me for just a second. This is good knowledge to have just in case this ever happens to you. Now, if we just take a look at the sales page and the thank you page, if you take a look and you just ask yourself, what is different and what is same? We can see that everything is the same except for the content that is all inside, right? So what we need to do in this case is we just need to replicate the sales page. And to do that, all you have to do is highlight it, click on copy. So we're going to right click copy, and in the white space, right click paste like this. And then we're going to click on that and click rename. And then we're going to do, let's say, thank you download. Once we're done with that, we are going to click it. We're going to open it with Composer. So all we need to do is simply delete all the text that is in the middle, right? So what I recommend that you do is simply put your mouse in the beginning of the first text and then just highlight it. Now scroll all the way down to the bottom and find the ending spot right here. Now don't click it yet. You want to hold the shift button and then you want to click it. By holding the shift button, it selects all the text from top to bottom. And then I'm going to click delete. And there we go. We're going to click on save. And then we can say thank you for downloading, or thank you for purchasing this video course. You can download the files below. So we can highlight that, we can bold that, italicize it, we can make it bigger, and we can put it to the middle. Now we are going to start at the point of actually connecting the downloadable files to the download page. So now you're done. You've created a thank you page, right? So same thing with here. If we go over here and we open this thank you page here, open like this, we can see that it pretty much says the same thing. Now in this case, we only have 2 files, but I'm going to you can leave these here if you want to, or you can simply just delete it and say, thank you for your order. To view the 9 videos, simply download the files and watch. So we can type MP3 and we can type 640 by 360 videos. So then we want to turn these 2 into links, right? So we're going to go back over to here. I'm going to find this, and I like to right click and click rename just so I can grab the text. So if I open up Notepad and I put them in here, we have that, and I just add a .zip to the very end of it. So .zip, and then we go back over to Composer, and then I can link the files. Now, here's the fun part, and here's the easy part. If you followed everything up to this point and you put the downloadable zip files in the same folder as the index file and the thank you page, then it's going to be easy. If you put it in a different folder, you'll have to deal with some complications. So that's why I say do it this way. So there's a reason for everything. So I'm going to highlight this file name here. I'm going to copy it. And then we're going to highlight this text and hyperlink it. So I'm going to highlight this text. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. Click on link. Enter the file name. And that's it. And I'm going to do this exact same thing with the MP3. So we're going to copy this, highlight, link, copy, OK, and that's it. So as you can see, I've created my download page. Now, I highly recommend that you also add maybe some unannounced bonuses, if all possible. Maybe some coupons or even other bonuses that you can provide. And the reason being is that way you make the customer feel like, wow, you not just only delivered what you promised to deliver, you also delivered something extra. So you kind of went along the way. All right, so that's how to create a download page, and that's how easy it is. So you can do the same exact thing over on the other download page. So as you can see, number one, we covered how to create a download page from scratch if and when the vendor does not provide one. And number two, how to connect the downloadable files that you chose to give and make sure that it works. And now we can actually upload the download page and it will actually work, assuming that you have uploaded everything else. Hello and welcome to video number 6. In this particular video, we're going to talk about how to automate your page with PayPal buttons. Now, in other words, what this means is what we're going to do is we are going to connect your sales page to your thank you page. And by doing so, when your customer gets to your sales page and they click the buy button, they will pay. And if they successfully pay, we want them to automatically get forwarded to the thank you page itself. So everything is automated. You don't have to send the actual product to your customers. So literally you could be sleeping and everything is automated. So that is the main goal. So in order to do this, what we need to do is we need to have in hand the sales page and the thank you page. And then what we need to try to figure out with the thank you page is where is it going to be located? So you kind of have to have an idea of where it's going to be located. So what I mean by that is when you upload these files to your website later on, where is that going to be? So this could essentially be at www.yourdomain.com/ let's say in this example, it's going to be this file name.html. So you are going to have an idea of where you're going to upload it, because within PayPal, you're going to specify where you want to send people after the payment goes through. All right. So it's going to either be here or, it's going to be in a subfolder. So you really need to address that issue before you create your PayPal button. Now, creating a PayPal button is super easy to do. All you have to do is log into your PayPal account. And then, of course, you go under Tools and then you go to All Tools. Now, in the past few years, I will say PayPal has readjusted their user interface. But if you can find their PayPal button, it's pretty much the same. So in this case, we're going to scroll all the way down about middle of the page and click on PayPal buttons. And then of course, to the right, you'll see a button that says create PayPal button. You click that and you're going to get this page. Now, there are many different button types, but as you can see here, there's shopping carts, there's buy now, there's donations, gift certificates, subscriptions. If you're doing something like a monthly subscription, there's automatic billing, and of course there is installment plans. Now in this case, I'm just going to do a buy now. It's a one-time thing, and we're going to call this item name. Let's call this product one-time fee. We're going to put the price, let's say $47. And then of course you can customize the button further if you choose to do so. So for example, you can add a drop-down menu with different price points if you would like. You can add a drop-down menu with different options. So for example, if you had different options like red, blue, green, or whatever that might be, you could do that. And of course you can add a text field. Now in this case, I'm just going to keep it as simple as possible. We have one price point at $47. And because this is a digital product, we do not need shipping or tax in this case. Now, if you scroll down to the bottom, you'll see these 3 items here, step 1, 2, and 3. We finished step 1, which was the button. We don't really need step 2, and we can go straight to step 3. Step 2 is mainly for tracking inventory and physical products, and we're not dealing with physical products. We're dealing with digital goods, so we can go straight to step 3. At step 3, you can see customize checkout pages. So do you want to let your customer change order quantities? I'm going to say no because we're not dealing with quantities here. It's digital. Can your customer add special instructions in a message to you? In this case, we don't really need that because we're not really customizing anything. Do you need your customer's shipping address? You can in this case if you were to like ship something to them, but in this case, I don't really need that. Now, here is where you're going to enter the URLs. Now, there are two different options here. It says take customers to this URL when they cancel their checkout. That means if somebody is looking at your sales page, and let's say, for example, that they cancel, like they click on the buy button, but then they cancel their checkout, where do you want to send them? Maybe you could send them to a different page, maybe a page with a discount coupon or something of that matter. But this is a great way to monetize that or try to convince people, hey, maybe you don't want this right now, but you're going to want something else kind of thing. So you can enter the URL here. Then, of course, let's say retry.html. And then, of course, here you can take customers to this URL. So pay attention closely to this. This allows you to send people directly to your thank you page so that you automate the full process. So in this case, I'm going to enter this location. So that's why it said you have to figure out where your location is going to be, where you're going to upload that particular HTML file. Now you can of course come back later on if you want to and change it out. So keep in mind, it's not said and done. You can change it later if you choose to do so. Now there's advanced variables. You don't really need any of this stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and click create button. Now at this point in time, you have the button code and PayPal is going to give you the website code, which is the actual button that you'll add to your website, or email, which is basically the direct link. So like I said earlier, if you want to use the PayPal button that is attached to the sales page, you would use the email. If you want to use the PayPal button and kind of piggyback on that reputation, then you would want to use the website code right here. So that's it. That's how easy it is to get the code. Now what I want to do is show you how to add the code to your HTML page. So let's head back over to Composer and do that right now. Now here's a quick and easy way to add the buy button to your page without having to know any HTML code. All right, so if I scroll down to the bottom to where the buy button is, like I said, if you go to PayPal and you get the link for the website, you get the code and you can simply double click this, go to link and add the link directly to here. Now, if you totally want to just remove this and you want to utilize the PayPal button itself, you will of course have to add the HTML code. Now, the way around this, so you don't have to go to the source code and then of course find the location and add the PayPal button, the way around that is to simply find the location where you want the PayPal button to be, in this case from this view, and simply type in some numbers that you would remember. So in this case, I usually generally use 123, 123, right? And then what I'll do is I'll go to the source code and then I'll try to find the 123, 123. So if I can't find it, I'm going to do a quick search for 123, 123. And there we go. So that's the location. Now we've got all this HTML code surrounding it, but guess what? You don't have to know any of this. You just found the 123, 123. So now what you need to do is simply replace this little tiny keyword that you have made up. It can be any word that you want as long as it's not on the page itself. And then replace this with the PayPal button. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. And there we go. So if I go back to normal view, we can see that the PayPal button has appeared. So now that we have set up everything successfully, We can see the PayPal button. We know that after the payment, people will be redirected to that page that we have specified. And that's it. That's all you have to do. You are pretty much done. The next thing you have to do is, of course, upload the files to your actual web host. And that's actually very easy once you have everything in hand. All right. So I'll see you there. So congratulations, you have reached the end of this video series, and at video number 7, at this point in time, you should have everything done, everything ready to upload to your website, and then of course we will test it to ensure that your sales funnel works. All right, let's get started. Okay, so there are 2 different ways to upload, as I said earlier, either via FTP program such as FileZilla, or number 2, through cPanel. Now, in order to connect to either or, you are going to need to get access from your web hosting company, the FTP information. So the FTP, which normally it's ftp.yourdomain.com, and then of course the username and password. As far as accessing cPanel, it's normally yourdomain.com/cPanel. Okay, with that in mind, first things first, I'm going to show you how to upload files via FileZilla. So if you go to Google and you type in FileZilla, you will actually get the direct link, which is FileZilla-project.org. That's FileZilla-project.org. If you go to that site, you will land on this particular page. And then of course you'll want to go click on download FileZilla clients, and then you'll see that there's a Windows version, and then of course there are other versions for different operating systems. So just go ahead and download the one that relates to your operating system, go ahead and install it and open it up. Now as you can see here, this is FileZilla, and I've already have it opened up. Now the host, as I said, is normally going to be ftp.yourdomain.com.net, whatever that is. Then you enter your username, your password, you click Quick Connect, and you're good to go. Now, typically at that point, you're going to want to find the folder that says public_HTML. Or sometimes it'll be HTTP docs, DOCS. So HTTP DOCS. Sometimes you'll see that there. Now your web hosting company should be pretty upfront with you as to where you should be able to find that kind of thing. So just go to that folder, and then of course you can either upload the file straight away, straight under that folder, or you can create a folder underneath, which to do that, all you have to do is go here. And then of course, in this box down here, you right click, you click on create directory. And then of course you create the directory. And then of course you locate the directory and you go inside of it. Now, as you can see, I kind of took a head start and went ahead and uploaded these 2 files because they were about 220 megabytes each. So now what I need to do is just go back over to here. I've already uploaded these 3 files, but just the same thing. All you have to do is open up over here your file manager on your computer. And then when you're ready to drag and drop it down here, you just drag, drop, and that's it. And we have successfully uploaded it there. And now all we need to do is simply go back to our browser here, and we want to go to that link. And as you can see, I'm using my internet browser and I'm live. And if I scroll down, I can see that the buy button is here. And there we go. So we have successfully uploaded it and we are good to go. Now I'm going to show you how to access and upload files via cPanel which is a different route if you want to go that route. So what you need to do is simply go to yourdomain.com/cpanel, as you can see here. Of course, yourdomain.com can be .net, .org, whatever your domain is, just put a /cpanel at the end. Now, typically the username and password is the same as the FTP username and password, but when in doubt, please contact your web hosting company. Now, for the sake of showing you this, what I did was I went ahead and deleted the index.html file and the thank you page, and I'm going to go ahead and uploaded it. So what I need to do is simply click on upload here, and then what we need to do is do the same thing. So we find the index file, which is sales page, and the thank you page. And the nice thing about the upgraded version of cPanel is you can simply drag and drop the files right here. And you can see we've uploaded the files. We go back here and we're done. So that's how easy it is to just upload. Everything is done. We're ready to go. And we've tested everything. And by testing it, all you have to do is simply go again to this particular address. So we're going to go up here and we can see the sales page, and I'm going to do the same thing with the thank you page and make sure the thank you page works live, and it does. Now, if I click on these links, it should download the files. And as you can see down here, they are downloading. This one's 133 megabytes and this one's 85. So they are both downloading successfully, and that means our download page works perfectly and our sales page works as well. So congratulations, you reached the end of this video course, and that's how easy it is to create and set up your PLR videos or your resale rights videos or your ebooks.